clear to the finish line. Good run coming. Hurry, hurry. I mean the horse.
This bombshell beauty right here can ride like the wind. She got one more to go.
In new leader with a 17.33.
Hi you guys, welcome to Barrel Racer Life. My name is MaddiKempf-Stoltman. Well, this past week was a busy one. I feel like I made a lot of barrel runs. Some were good, some not so good, as it sometimes goes in Barrel Racer land, but I'm happy to show you guys the good, the bad, the ugly, and all about it.
I've been working on trying to get some better footage for some training videos for you guys, and of course I've had a little bit of a struggle with my equipment and it working in the wind, believe it or not, but I'm going to work on it. We'll get there. I've been working with 8, trying to get him to just ride around a little bit softer and kind of round up into the bridle. So what I mean by that is you can see his nose kind of dipping down. He can't really round up his body and use it properly if his head's straight in the air like he likes to do. So we've been working on that and doing some nice soft circles. Here's a little bit of my slow work with him. So I trot my horses around the barrels a lot. I really want them to be looking the way I'm going, so you can kind of see that he has his body arced to the right. And then I stop at my rate point on all my horses and we'll move their hip into the barrel. 8, I stop and back up a little bit because he wants to be a little bit more of a free runner than I kind of like. So this is me asking him, okay, like remember when I say sit down and come back to me, I'm not kidding. I do this at every barrel, and here I do something a little bit different. So if you watch, his head kind of came up and he pushed on me when I asked him to come back. So instead of going around the barrel, I'm actually going to go back to the first and try again. So I like their reward to be moving forward and on to the next thing. So he's not in trouble, not going to make a big deal about it, but we're just going to try and have a better approach at that second and see if I can't get him to respect me a little bit more when I ask for him to stop. Okay, so he's getting another opportunity here. I'm going to sit down, say whoa. And you can see he stopped and was a lot more respectful there. So now I can move his hip in, give him a little reward, and on we go to the next one. And when I get up to the third, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to sit down, ask him to stop, maybe back up a step or two, move that hip over. And see, he kind of started to walk off before I was ready, so I just backed him up. Just keep it nice and relaxed and take the pressure off. It's not uncommon for one to get a little more excited at the third barrel, being that usually they would run home from here. So you can see I'm actually going to loop him around this barrel a couple times because you probably couldn't see in the video, but he got a little excited about it. So I'm just going to walk him around one more time till he calms down a little bit. And then when I'm in practice, I like to overfinish that third barrel and go to the fence. And that's just kind of how I practice. Those types of videos with a little bit more training, explanation, and probably some drills, stuff I do with each specific horse is the kind of thing that I'm going to put on Patreon and do a subscription service for you guys. So that'll be in addition to these Barrel Racer Life videos, but that kind of a thing. So yeah, I'm just kind of working on that and getting it going for you, but there's kind of a taste of what it might be like.
I decided to enter Buckeye because I realized I haven't ran Claude on a standard pattern since I have brought him back this winter. He had about 4 months off of running, and bringing him back, I realized, you know, it would be good to run him on a standard to kind of see where we're at. I find it sort of hard to gauge going to these arenas on different size patterns, and especially ones that he hasn't ran at before, to sort of see where we're at. So I decided to go down to Buckeye. They have a really nice standard pattern with good ground, and it was one that I thought, okay, we can kind of clock on a standard pattern, see where we're at. left Buckeye without making a dime. Hot Sauce was a little bit slow, honestly. He made a pretty run, just wasn't really didn't fire super hard for me. And then Claude made an awesome run, and I was really happy with his. I was hoping to just get a good solid run on a standard pattern, see where we were at. I know I lost time on my third barrel, and other than that, the first and the second were beautiful. He did a great job. I feel like we corrected the first because I had a little bit of trouble with it a few weekends ago, and I was just really happy with where he ran. Off we go to Horns and Hooves today. So they've got a big race. This is their last one of the season that they're putting on, and they've added 2,000 a day. So I did not go yesterday because I wanted to run on a standard, so I went to Buckeye, but headed down there today for 2,000 added. I'm going to run all three of my boys, and I'm also running a horse for a friend too, so it's going to be busy, but that's how I like it. A unique thing that I do for Claude and no one else is I take my spurs off when I run him. So at home I ride him in spurs, but when I run him, I do not. He's very hypersensitive, and I feel like I do better on him without spurs. I feel like he's too reactive in my spurs, so take him off.
Maddi, that would have been a 17-1.4 to Loping Hole.
So I felt like Claude and I had a pretty good run going. And then at the second barrel, it might be hard to see in the video, but he actually slipped pretty bad on the back side of the barrel. If you kind of slow down the video, you'll see what I'm talking about. And he kind of slides a hind leg out, hangs a leg a little bit, and he felt like he was very low to the ground to me, even more than normal for him. It felt like it kind of scared him, and honestly, it kind of freaked me out a little bit too.
You can kind of watch his right hind leg hang up here, there, and how low his butt got to the ground.
One of those things, the ground didn't hold him. Nothing against the producers or anything. Claude is a big horse, and I was very last out on my drag. And sometimes when he goes to dig, things just kind of push away from him with his size. It is what it is. But that kind of caused us some grief once we went up to the third barrel. I just feel like both of us were kind of flustered, and we just didn't get by it. So it is what it is. I pulled up, and he still made a good run. Time-wise, he was a 17-1. I usually, on him, run mid-16s there. So considering all things, I was like, well, he was going to be fast, but it's one of those things. It is what it is. Hot Sauce made a pretty good solid run for me. I feel like he tried a little harder that day than he did the day previous in Buckeye, so that's something to be happy about. Eight is something else. This horse is so funny. Honestly, I feel like we take 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. 2 steps forward. He's just a little bit of a challenge, but made a pretty good run. It was not super fast on the clock, but I feel like there was some good things in there. He's not been the easiest to ride. So he warmed up beautifully. He's really nice to ride around, and then in the run, just not all the way there, but it's okay. I feel like there's promise for him. Cody's actually going to go back to roping on him a little bit, which is what he is anyways, is a rope horse. So I don't really know what my expectations were as a barrel horse for him, but I think that going back to roping for a little bit is going to be a good thing for him. Well, we left Horns and Hooves without any money in our pocket, but it is what it is. One of those things in barrel racing, I feel like it's all a gamble. Sometimes you just have to go and throw your money down and hope for the best, and that's kind of what we did. But, you know, things are kind of winding down for me here in Arizona, so I'm kind of feeling like I'm trying to get a little bit of my fill for the last few jackpots here before we head north. Well, that's all I have for you guys this week. I always appreciate you watching, and I really appreciate your support. This coming week, there is a big barrel race coming up on Saturday. It's a high entry fee barrel race. It's in Queen Creek, which is a little far in Arizona terms. It's about an hour and a half from here. So I'm thinking I'm going to take Claude down there. It is a 3-day race. I might just go for 1 or 2. As always, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.